Hello everyone, my name is ChickenChakra and today I'm going to be taking you through Reversal's 848. This is a series of 8 tips for Tekken 8 and today we're going to be looking at how to beat Xiaoyu. Our first tip is going to be dealing with her hip stance. So what is her hip stance? Hypnotist is a stance that's been in Tekken series for a very long time but only now has become super useful. She now gets a deadly 50-50 mix when she's in this stance, and she can also access this stance from many different strings and cancels. To beat her hip stance, we first need to understand what her hip stance is. So from this stance, she has access to hip free at 20 frame low, which is +7 on hit. This low can evade highs and even some mids. The scariest thing about this low is that it actually changes properties depending on how many steps she's taken during the hypnotist stance. At 1 step it is +7 on hit, but at 2 steps it knocks down for a guaranteed follow-up, and at 3 steps it becomes a full launcher, giving her big damage. And no matter how many steps she's taken, it'll always be only -12. Next up we have hip 2, which is a mid heat engager. This move becomes a launcher when she's in heat. Hip 2 is normally -4 on block, but like hip 3 it actually changes properties depending on how many steps she's taken. At 1 step it's -4, but at max it can be +9. With a lot of pushback. She also has some other moves from hip stance which aren't as popular, like hip 3+4, which is a slower natural hit launcher, and hip 4, which is a counter hit high launcher. She can also cancel the hip 3+4 for some tricky shenanigans. Tip number 2 is find out what hits AOP. Xiaoyu's Art of Phoenix stance has been part of the Tekken series since Tekken 3, but that doesn't mean it's fair. This stance evades most moves in the game, depending on how she enters the stance. Here we can see AOP down evading most of Jin's options from full crouch, with the only consistent option being while standing 4-4. The same goes for his dad Kazuya. She can also do another form of AOP known as Sidestep right AOP. This has even more evasive properties as she sidesteps into AOP, which already has a built-in mini sidestep. This evades a lot, so best to lab what your character can do. For example, Jin's 4-4-2 is great for catching Sidestep right AOP. Tip number 3 is dealing with her backturn throw mix. Xiaoyu in Tekken 8 has a free-way backturn throw mix, with the break either being 1, 2, or 1+2, and they all look exactly the same. The 1+2 break is a launching grab which she can do and get big damage from. The best way to deal with this mix is to learn to react to the hop she does before the throw. If you're able to see the hop, you can duck every time and punish her for it. Just be careful as she can cancel the 1+2 grab for some reason and be a bit tricky, so best to confirm that she actually whiffed the throw before punishing. Moving on to number 4, punishing calli roll. Calli roll has always been a huge move for Xiaoyu as it gives big damage and evades a lot of highs and mids. If you're a fraction of a second too slow on your punish or do a punish that's not correct, she will go under you and calli roll again. Calli roll is -11, so the safest thing to do would be a jab punish, which can be great if your character has a really strong jab string like Jin, Kazuya or Leo. These jab punishes are actual guaranteed punishes. If you've been hit by calli roll going under your mids, you're going to want to like and subscribe, because Reversal is going to be posting a lot more of these 8-for-8 tips and help you become the best player out there. So don't be going jabs over calli roll and then getting hit and eating a bunch of damage. Like and subscribe and become a better player and learn how to deal with these shenanigans. Tip number 5 on how to beat Xiaoyu. Be patient. Everyone gets annoyed when Xiaoyu is dancing around the stage doing who knows what. And the moment you try to come in, you get hit by your super fast mid launcher from Backturn. GG's, that's it. What you want to do in these situations is to be patient, let her whiff a move, or do something that's punishable, and then take your turn. Tip number 6, her forward-forward mix. Forward-forward 4 is a new move in Tekken 8, which is +9 on block. She instantly goes into hip stance for a free 50-50 mid-low mix, but you can mitigate the danger by simply knowing your options. In this situation, the hip free low will beat jabs, highs, and even some mids. So if you're expecting the low to come, best to block and do your I-12 punish or low parry. Her hip 2 will beat jabs and slower moves, but you can avoid this by actually power crushing or heat bursting. Also, forward 4 is weak to sidestep right, and also a high, so you can duck it if you're expecting it. Tip number 7, don't fall for AOP flowcharts. Xiaoyu has some popular flowcharts that she uses to bait you into pressing buttons. These include going into AOP at -9, or going into AOP whenever she's put into full crouch. If a Xiaoyu is constantly going into AOP after a certain situation, make sure to recognize and use your character's AOP hitting move. You can see here that a lot of moves whiff after the flowcharts, and so the best thing to do would be to use the move you know is going to hit AOP consistently. Our final tip is Be careful when trying to step. Xiaoyu has some great tracking moves, her forward 4 and her back 1+2 cross lifting palms. If you try to step at close range, these will clip you for big damage. So be careful with your step placements. Stepping at range works, but when you try to step very up close, it can be very risky. And that's it for this 8-for-8. Let us know in the comments what you guys think. What other 8-for-8 tips you'd like to see, and if you've ever been infuriated while fighting Xiaoyu too. Please like and subscribe, and let us know how you found the video. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.